Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at another brass hybrid release from Broadway Limited. And boy, they're just cranking out the stuff lately. This month is extremely busy. You're going to see so many videos from me, probably 12 to 14 videos between YouTube Shorts and YouTube videos this month. And some of that's due to Broadway Limited's very aggressive release schedule. They are releasing all sorts of stuff to keep the modelers happy. But today we're taking a look at this brass hybrid Chesapeake Ohio K-2 Mikado steam locomotive. This has the 16 VC tender. We'll talk about that a little later. Paragon 4 sound, DC, DCC, smoke, HO scale, of course. So let's get into this right now. Okay, brass hybrid white boxes that they've been doing for a while now. You just slide the sleeve out. And these white boxes are on a lot of Paragon 4 stuff, or all of it. They've transitioned to these white boxes. So if you haven't seen that yet, you will soon enough when you start getting newer products in from Broadway Limited. You see a little funnel comes out with the packaging. Now, there's a little tray, I'm going to call it that, I call it a little hidden slot in here, and inside is a 28 function double-sided sheet. There's Pro mode and Standard mode, and that's where those come into play. 31 pages of a manual, including CVs, functions, etc. And that is it in our little sleeve there. In the blister packaging, we call it, you got a plastic sleeve, some traction tires, and a removal / installation tool. Two side panels will fall away, and a little clamp action there with soft plastic to reveal the locomotive and the tender. And a beautiful locomotive it is. We'll take a closer look at that. Try to eliminate the background so it doesn't merge in as much, but here is the locomotive in all of its glory. We'll focus in on the front, where you see all sorts of detail added. You got the high mounted class lights. There's a bell poking out right here in the middle. Can barely see that. Number boards, along with on the smoke box door a number board. There are air pumps front, so there's just flying air pumps. These are large Alesco feed water heaters and flying air pumps. You have the lower area here with the headlight hood, another set of number boards, coupler, pilot, and it also has a coupler cut lever and more detail there in the front. So pretty cool overall. Now these appeared in the 40s, even though they're made all the way back to 1911. And if you look towards the side, you can see all the side rod detail, pistons, the boiler and sand dome, and towards the back, dynamo, safety valves, all that is back here. There's the dynamo, got the safety valves, there's more plumbing and a handrail there. This is just one of the most detailed steam locomotives I've ever seen. Towards the back, trailing trucks, the cab crew figures, and that 16 VC tender. Now the 16, I believe, refers to the 16,000 gallon capacity, and it's a Vanderbilt tender, so I'm guessing that's related to the VC. I've still got a lot to learn over all the eras and all the stuff that I cover, but this is just a very highly detailed locomotive. Even the coal load looks realistic. You've got the drop sill in between the cab and the tender. and it's actually positionable, but I just flattened it out there a little more, and you can flatten it out even more so that it's kind of a realistic flat appearance. You can see all the tender underside detail as well, the wood paneling, grab irons, and as we turn this around here, you can see, moved a little too fast on me, the step ladder, rear light, more grabs, coupler cut lever, rear coupler. As we move up, you can see that coal load again, and more detail on this side of the locomotive. 3 kind of molded in, if you will, cab roof hoods, a cab sunshade. Those roof hoods don't move. And more plumbing along this side as well, along with the side rod detail as we talked about before. So that's going to be a 360. I know it's not the most descriptive thing in the world, but I did want you to see the details. Obviously they come with builder's plates also installed on the side there, on the side of the smoke box. So pretty cool locomotive. And we will see how it operates here, but look at all that detail on the front of this thing. Okay, let's weigh this thing real quick. Got to power this on here. And we'll place it on the scale best we can. Looks like 21.3 ounces. That's 602 grams or 1 pound, 5.3 ounces. So a pretty good heft with that brass hybrid composition of mostly brass. Okay, there's a couple of ways to fire up a Broadway locomotive. You can just simply move it, or the extended startup is F9. We'll do extended on this. Okay, so what you heard was a crew member walk up, the gravel, the ballast under his feet, getting into the cab. You hear the air pumps firing up, knobs turning, dynamo fires up, and then the headlight turns on. Cab light stays on until you get to about speed step 3. So really nice detail on top of the actual physical detail. The detail loaded in the tender is also pretty sweet. So let's go. We checked F0 there. Looks like it's working properly. Hit 1. That's bell, obviously. 2. So there is 2 for bell. There's also an option for F22, which is alternate, 2 for whistle. Alternate whistle on F22. So with my NCE Pro Cab, if you hit the F2, it's just going to stay on. So you're going to have to turn it on and off pretty quickly to get that whistle effect that's short. 3's rear light. Well, that's Pro lighting mode actually. With Pro lighting mode, which requires you to hit CV128 to 1, you can operate all the lights independently. We won't cover that just in the essence of time, but you get the gist. F3's coupler sounds. Usually when you start moving, see that synchronized puffing smoke there. F4 is the air pumps, which are hanging off the front. F5 and F6 are rev up and down. Maybe something different with steam. Looks like it's water fill maybe. F7 turns the smoke on and off for people that don't like smoke. You can just turn it off. 8's master volume or mute. 9's the startup or shutdown. 10 is coal shovel. So you got water injectors, grade crossing signal, you name it, it's in here. So you also have a whole bunch of background chatters. I've covered those many times, so in the essence of time I won't cover those today. But let's go ahead and get this thing moving so you can see slow speed on this and the puffing smoke. Hope you enjoy my new backdrop area with one area complete here. Gives it a little bit of timeless realism so we can run locomotives like this. So there's one speed step. See the puffing smoke at about 1 chuff and puff per quarter revolution of the drivers. Go ahead and set our AccuTrack speedometer here. See what kind of speeds come out of this. .2 scale miles an hour. That's slower than the typical Broadway limited speeds I've seen before. But also it looks like it needs a little bit more gas to get any tiny bits of lurch out of there, but it also hasn't been broken in. So there's your scale miles an hour. We'll switch directions here and go in reverse. See that really bright rear light, which is pretty nicely done. Perfect color temperature. And you can get a view inside the cab here. As we slow down and stop, the cab light turns on. And you can even see the boiler backhead detail and the butterfly doors in there. So really tricked out, really detailed steam locomotive here. Okay, I've got the pull test meter hooked up here. Gonna switch to ounces. Go forward here. Once again, that crazy Broadway limited pulling power. 13 ounces. Looks like it's peaking at. That is just insane. You know, each ounce is approximately 15 pieces of rolling stock, so talking about like 180 or 200 cars, plenty for whatever you would need to haul with this locomotive on any size layout with any size consist that you want to run that would be realistic. So luckily these locomotives are prior to PSR, so you don't have to worry about 250 car consists on these. Did want to show you the headlight. Sits kind of low. These class lights are prism effect class lights. They're not operational, just so you're aware. So the lighting on this is the cab, the headlight, and the rear light. So still pretty nicely done, and brass hybrid means composed mostly of brass, so you get all that really fine detail and that high quality workmanship. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this review. Hopefully you enjoyed everything. I think it's a great locomotive, really nice detail. I know some of these signs and stuff give away a little bit of a modern look, but this is about as timeless as I can get on this layout for this run by. Brass bell, brass details, DC, DCC, everything on this locomotive. Paragon 4 with the subwoofer, capacitor. Really cool overall. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time right here on the channel. Take care.
Many of the products you see in this video are available at trainworld.com. Since 1968, this family-owned business has been serving the needs of the modeling community with 2 New York brick-and-mortar store locations in Brooklyn and Long Island, plus their vast array of online items. Shop 24/7 at trainworld.com.